Last week I decided it was time to clean the dryer vent out. I do this every year, and I can see why they say that it could be a problem, danger of fire, because there's a lot of dry lint collecting in there. So it's a good thing to have it cleaned out at least once a year, I think. Anyway, what I usually do is I take a rag, and then I take a piece of stick, usually longer than this, and try to push it through. I decided it was time to come up with a better idea. I have this brush that I had purchased for another job, and it has one of these connectors on it that allows you to snap it into electric drill or other extensions. And if you have an extension long enough for your drill, you could actually snap this onto it and do that. But that might be expensive and maybe a little hard to find one that is long enough to do the job. So what I thought I would do is, I had some of this PEX pipe, it's 1/2 inch water pipe, and I thought I would make adapters for the end so that I could attach this to it and then use my electric drill to clean out my 3-foot sections of pipe. Now this is only about 2.5 feet long, but I can come in from both ends. So what I did is, first of all, I turned this down. It's just a 1/2 inch piece of material, but I turned this end down just long enough to be a press fit into this end, and we're going to install that. Now the other end, this is made out of aluminum, and we're going to hold it a little closer here. Perhaps you can see that it is hexagonal in shape inside that hole, and there's a little set screw here. This end is turned to fit into the other end of the water pipe right here. And the nice part about this is this brush will now fit into here, and we tighten the set screw. So once it's all assembled, we'll have a 2.5 foot long, actually a little longer when this goes on, to push through our dryer pipe and clean it out. Now if there are any existing joining screws in the length, this thing will just skip right over them. It's not like a rag that's going to get caught. So we'll assemble that and show you how it works. Now we could put a little glue on here if we wanted to, but I think this is going to be tight enough to do the job, so we'll just see if we can't push that down. That looks pretty good. At the other end, let's see how that goes on here. And that was a pretty tight fit too. So here is our length of rod that we're going to need to put into the pipe. Now this slides onto here. You take an Allen wrench and tighten up that little set screw right there. And we're done. Now we'll just grab a gun. It's a little wobbly, but we don't care. It's going to be inside the pipe. So this piece of pipe is a little bit bigger than the dryer pipe. So the brush will be a little sloppier in here. This particular brush will be almost a fit for your dryer pipe. And it should turn just fine inside like this and clean out the mess. And I've already cleaned the pipe. I'm not going to take it off the dryer again, but it really worked well. The particles inside the pipe just seemed to stick to this brush, and I could brush them off into the garbage as this came out. Now we're going to show you how I made this end that holds the brush and how we made the hexagonal for the brush to fit in there. So what we've got here is just a 5/8 diameter piece of aluminum. We're going to put it in the lathe. One end would be turned down to fit in your water pipe shaft, your PEX pipe. And the other end is going to be bored. Well, first of all, we'll center drill that. After we've center drilled that, we'll put a 1/4 inch drill in the hole and drill 1/4 inch all the way through on this piece anyway. Wouldn't necessarily have to go all the way. We're going to go all the way through. This aluminum is great stuff to work with. Easy to machine. Not quite enough travel on the tailstock there. We'll finish off the rest of it here. There we go. So now we've got that 1/4 inch hole in there. We can take it over to the 12-ton press. I had one of these screwdriver bits that was damaged on the end, so I just cut the end off. Now here's what it looked like after I cut it off. I had ground it flat and square on this end, and I do have a little bit of burr here, but I'm leaving the burr on. Hopefully that will make this a little bit bigger hex shape than the back part, which is what I want, because I want this to slide in easily. So we've got the aluminum piece in here. Off camera I did chamfer this end, and we'll put it in the press here and proceed to put that right through the hole. Try to get it nice and square, and it goes nice and easy. Now we don't need to go all the way through. Probably don't really want to go all the way through. So what we've got to do now is get this back out of here. We've got a punch that will fit in the other end. The vise is open a little bit, and we're going to see if we can't just knock that out with a punch and a hammer. That's out. And it dropped on the floor. Here it is here. So now we have our hex shape. You may have to put this in again and do it several times so that it's not too tight. And we can do that right here. We don't have to go back to the press for that. Just knock it in and knock it out again. And every time, of course, it falls on the floor. After punching that piece in and out 3 times, I was able to take one of these bits and just slide it on there pretty easy. All that remains to do now is drill and tap the hole for a set screw. And you've got your part made. And that's how we put the hex shape into that. Does a nice job too. So there's our finished tool. We'll put a link to where I purchased the brush. I think they're available in a lot of places, but mine came from Amazon.ca.